Today, I'm finally going to reveal what that second bike was, and then I'll do a little comparison between both bikes. Let's check it out. Alright, this is going to be a second video of a great reveal, a lot shorter video than the first one where I revealed the green cruiser. So let's start. I'm going to just unbox the whole thing and just lay it out and hit you all at once with what is in this box. Stay tuned. Alright, perfect timing. So I am going to be revealing this bike here, as you've probably already seen in the thumbnail. My second bike is, in fact, a lime green wired Freedom. And as you can see over here, I'll bring them closer side by side later. I also have the lime green wired cruiser, and I just wanted to go over a couple of things that I've noticed. In fact, I'll bring them closer together now. And I'm very happy with both of these purchases. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, my order was placed back in March, and there is a backstory to that maybe I'll share with you real quickly. Initially, I had ordered a wired Freedom, and it would have been the 2024 version 1. Now, when I talked to Wired back in March, order number was 6725. They had 2 Freedoms left, and they were both in blue. And I would have got one of the last of the 2 Freedoms. I would have got one of them in blue. That's the only color they had. However, I was told maybe I should wait. Maybe it'll be worth it. I talked to one of the owners at Wired who didn't disclose a whole ton of information, but he said there will be some upgrades coming if I was patient enough to wait. Because initially when I placed the order for the first wired Freedom, it only came with the 1 battery like everyone else's did. And I had placed an additional order for a second battery that I was just going to keep as a backup, or maybe buy a bag and take it with me in case I needed to swap it out on a ride, just to have the option of 2 batteries. It was just hinted back then that I may not need to purchase the second battery, but they weren't sure how it was going to work out yet. All the details hadn't been released or revealed, and I feel like they were also still in the decision-making process to get this version that we have now, which is still the 2024, but it's the version 2 that did in fact come with a second battery. All for the same price. That is the one thing that I am trying to wrap my mind around. The first bike that I bought would have came with 1 battery, and it would have been $2,000. This one here that has so many upgrades comes with a second battery, which would have cost around $800 extra. Same price, $19.99. A more powerful motor, a more robust rear suspension here with the links being thicker, a through axle front easy released. That is just I mean, there's so many upgrades. So we do get the through axle with the quick release. The brakes upgraded to the Gemma brakes there. Still the 7-speed Shimano derailleur. This here, one of the older ones, this controller was a lot closer to the rear tire. This was brought in, it's fully enclosed, it's got the gel in there. 20 amp hour battery in front, 15 amp hour battery in the back. That's 35 amp hours total. Of stronger motor in this one with a larger controller. I forgot to mention the first one was a 40 amp. This is a 45 amp controller on both the Freedom and the wired cruiser. A couple of add-ons that I did. I changed out the seat here to a little bit more comfortable seat. I did it on both bikes. I'll do a quick overview on that one in just a bit. Today's video was more just a quick reveal on what the second wired box was. Someone did guess it was the lime green Freedom. after I did the video for the lime green Cruiser. So yes, I went all out, all in and all out with the new color, the lime green that they now offer. And here with the upgraded Cruiser, for the first time ever, it has rear suspension. A lot of people initially went with the Freedom because the Freedom was always a dual suspension bike or full suspension, whatever you want to call it. Now the the Cruiser has a rear suspension link that they were able to put in, which makes it now full suspension, way more comfortable. And without having the crossbar here, like the Freedom has it, you have this can be ridden by a lot more people. I'm 6'3", and I'm just doing this back and forth just because it's the best comparison video that I see. This bar gets in the way of a lot of people, especially with having to clear your foot or your leg. Essentially, you'll have to swing your leg over the back. Getting on may not be the problem, but it's getting off where sometimes when you swing your leg over a foot, a shoe, something gets caught on this rear rack. And I'm talking just like this. Some people have bags back here that makes it even higher, which means you have to essentially do a higher kick to get your leg over and around. And a lot of times people's foot, and I'm speaking from some experience here, your foot, whatever it is, might get stuck here, causing you to do this like hop, just to try to keep your balance on the one foot that's on the ground. But these bikes are heavy. So once you kind of start losing control and losing the balance on one foot and you're hopping, the weight of this bike works against you and it just starts to tip, and the momentum and everything, I can see where people will be intimidated just because of this crossbar here. I'm 6'3". I feel like this is a comfortable bike for me. If you're, I'll say about 6 feet to maybe and up, 6'5", 6'7", you'll feel good on this bike here, the Wired Freedom. I'm pausing for aircraft as they fly over. And again, Cruiser is the exact same price, $19.99, and it appeals to people who doesn't want to deal with that crossbar here where you can just do a step through instead of a step over essentially, and have the same power, same setup, same dual battery, same full suspension. A couple of things that I did add. So this one I did mention, I changed it to a wider seat. And again, just for comfort reasons, for some of those now longer rides that we're capable of doing, thanks to having the second battery there, I did put a cup holder or bottle holder here because there's nowhere to mount like a bottle rack on any of these bikes. And for longer rides, I do have a Hydro Pack or a water backpack that I would take with me. But for shorter rides, I may just want a bottled water. So I just put a cup holder or a bottle holder on the front handlebars there. I did upgrade the bell. It looks exactly the same as the one that comes with it, but this one actually has a ring. The other one, it seemed like it was more rubberized. And now the landscapers decide to blow their grass cuttings. But anyway, the show is gonna go on. I'm almost done. I did upgrade to this bell, which is more metal. The other one seemed more rubberized and it was more muffled, but this one has like a lingering tone that is, to me, more effective. I did invest here in this brand here, the Michow bar and mirror, and that's very practical. Just on the one side, most of the time where our right side is to like the sidewalk or the inside of the road, and this is the side where cars would be coming from. And like I mentioned, I did switch out the seat to this one here. It's got a nice little accent here that blends pretty well with the paint color there. Even these pedals, upgraded to those, they're more like aluminum. They just seem higher quality than the ones that come with the bike. But added an alarm. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if I really want to point it out to where it's at for anyone who who has cruel intentions that might be watching this video. I'm semi-kidding. But same bell there. I decided not to go with a bar end mirror on the Freedom. Instead, I have this here, which is a rear view camera, which essentially replaces having to put mirrors. I do have to kind of still work on the wiring management there just to bring it in a little tighter, running it through the side here under the rack, and essentially having the camera mounted to the rear rack there. There has been a lot of rattling on the rear battery, as a lot of people have mentioned. Gosh, and I'm sorry about the audible, guys. I can't help it. But I did invest in some of these rubber pads. They're adhesive, and I put them underneath between the battery and the rack, and this eliminates any bouncing sound, any of that horrible yeah, I mean, it was too much. So I did it on both bikes, just put some foam padding underneath all the 3 of the crossbars, and there's no more battery, what I'll call a battery rattle. So again, I am super happy that I waited, that I decided to take, I don't want to call it advice, because I'm not trying to say they were trying to sway me, but you know, given the information that I had ahead, it may be worth it, I decided to wait. And all the upgrades that came with this version 2 of the Wired Freedom for 2024, for the same price, I gotta hit that home. It's for the exact same price as the one I almost bought that would have came with only 1 battery. It wouldn't have as strong of a motor. It would have had the smaller 40 amp controller. They even upgraded the headlight. The display is also upgraded. It's a lot more user-friendly, a lot more easy to understand in terms of the settings and the advanced settings. The Freedom, I had to pull the trigger on a Freedom 2 just because I needed to experience both, and I am super happy with this investment. I am very happy. I'm glad I waited. The saying goes, good things come to those who wait. Let me just point out, the controller for the Cruiser is now under here, fully encased. I don't know what the waterproof rating is, but essentially the exact same controller box, potted as well with that gel inside to help it cool. It distributes the heat more evenly, fully encased there, you know, they could have put it behind maybe, but I like what they did there. Very sleek looking. The battery on this one no longer works for the Freedom. It's its own battery, so the Cruiser will have a specific battery assigned to it that will fit now underneath, going into the frame, which looks way better than having, you know, any type of an exposed battery as we see here in the outside. But even with that, compared to what batteries used to be, just that big unsightly packs that would just stand out, this is a little more sleek anyway. I like the design on both. This green color, I'm getting so much compliments on it. I'm getting a lot of feedback on the color, how it stands out, even from neighbors and friends who have no idea what they're looking at, haven't done a single bit of research. They're like, wow, these bikes look amazing. They really stand out. It's kind of a safety thing as well. It does stand out, you know, in terms of being more visible. So overall, it's a great investment. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I think you could go with the Freedom if you like the more stability of having this top support crossbar here. There's a little bit more of a wobble, but not the death wobble that people talk about with the Cruiser. It's just because you're missing essentially a support post that would otherwise go straight across there. I've already ridden both of these. Essentially, they are the exact same bike. It's just that with the Cruiser, you do have the freedom to slide your foot through. It's a step through bike instead of having to step over. But overall, you know, performance wise, they feel the same. They are the same. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of people were complaining of having broken rear fenders. Yeah, mine wasn't on either one. And, you know, it wasn't trucked to me by UPS. Essentially, it was sent here by boat. So it had like an additional step to have to go through from being trucked from the pier or whatever, and then by boat here. And I just had to pick it up myself in that first video you saw. But I didn't have any damages. I don't have anything wrong with the bike so far. The only thing I did mention was that they both arrived low on air, which is understandable. That's not even an issue. I was gonna put flat out in the tires anyway, which I did. I ended up putting flat out in both tires. So taking out the air, putting in the sealant, reinflating them up to 20. I went up to 20 PSI on both tires. And this is what I have. Now I do have another bike in there that I'm going to show you my current lineup, maybe in a future video. This one's already long enough. But here's your Wired Freedom. Great investment. Oh, I guess I just forgot to mention the handlebar extender on this one that I did add, just so I can have some room for the for that. And then if I wanted to put a speaker, I have some space to add a wireless Bluetooth speaker as well. But great investment. You cannot go wrong with the Freedom. You will be happy with this. It's worth the wait, folks. That's probably another point I want to hit home. Stop canceling your orders because it's not going to come, you know, within the next 2 weeks. It's worth the wait. Like I said, I got this, I placed the order back in March and I finally received it like either late August. I think it was late August, and I'm so glad I waited. The Cruiser, worth the wait. Both bikes, worth every penny, worth every day that you have to wait. It's a great investment. You're gonna have years of thrills and memories. I did reach over 40 miles per hour on both bikes. And again, I'm a larger rider. I'm 6'3". I'm about maybe 230 to 240 on both bikes, over 40. I'll do more riding videos coming up. I've just been really busy, but I did want to pump this video out because I've been getting some questions on the great reveal of what my second bike was. And here you have it. All right, guys, sorry about the noise outside. I couldn't help with the elements, you know, the aircraft wanting to fly overhead, and then also the landscape people that chose to cut grass today. But I do want to thank you all for watching this short video. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, or if you own any of the Wired bikes, Freedom, Cruiser, whether the original ones. Leave a comment and just explain your experiences so far, how much miles you currently have on your bike, and if you've had any issues, go ahead and leave it below. And you know, if you've also were able to correct those issues or fix it. But also if you have any like success stories, and just share your experiences below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you think I did a good job and I earned it. Leave a like. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that button. There's gonna be a lot more content coming. I'm super excited. But I do want to thank you all for watching this video. This is Ryan from Riding in Style.
You